Hello, welcome in our episode 8. So in today's episode, we tackled some tough places, and we're looking at creating relationships. The first thing we started with was actually modifying the student form to generate these registration numbers automatically. They might be looking very easy to generate like this, but it actually more logical than you think, more especially if you want these ones to be auto-generated, picking the last one from database. So it became actually more logical than I expected, but we end up actually handling it nicely, whereby if you select a private, we have private sponsored students, and we have also school sponsored students, and these sponsored students have SS, and the private students have PS. And all this is automatic. You simply select private student, and then to generate the region number based on that. So it took us also some time to really get this worked. And then we went on to create a relationship to add on to a particular school. I wanted to create a relationship where all students, students' parents all belong to a particular school. It actually required us to have authentication in place. So I actually first posted that after notifying, saying that we actually need to have authentication in place to be able to do that. So what we did next was we went and started on the teachers. So if you just go on the side of teachers, we didn't create the teachers. These ones are still parents. This information is for parents, but we created the form for the teacher now, which required us actually, when we were creating the model for the teacher, it required us to create more models. For instance, for the teacher leave, we have these departments, we had subjects, main subjects, all these ones required us to create actually a bunch of models. If you just look here under the teacher, you will see that the teacher has a lot of things on them. For instance, there's the subject, classes, documents, and then we have attendances and leaves, all these ones. So we actually end up creating more of these ones. Okay, so also that one took us time, but we managed to create all those models, and we started on this form. We didn't manage to save the data in the database. We created the form. So in the next video, we're just going to start from there. So this is what we did in this episode, and let's get started. Hello, welcome in today's video. So today is episode 8, and we are back with our school management system. And today we have a couple of things to work on. We want to start fixing the fact that the school must belong to all these students, teachers, parents must belong to a certain school. So want to implement that. And then if time allows, we'll go ahead and look at teachers while we are going to create we are going to create the new teachers, and we can connect them also to classes and also to students, and we see how all these starts to build up, so that we can just go ahead and continue with our management system. And to those ones who have liked and subscribed, please, thank you so much. If you haven't, please subscribe and also like the video. So there are some things I want to first fix. Sorry, there's some things I want to first fix, more especially when it comes to this student registration number and also the student's roll number. Now, this can be really hard to manage depending on who is registering what. I want to take a scenario whereby you registered a student and the last number was maybe 008. So you may find the school has 3 secretaries or 4 people who are registering new students, and the track of this is very hard to know who was the last one. You increment maybe this to 9. This can be really hard. The same thing to the roll number. So they are supposed to be actually automated, so that behind the scenes the registration number will be generated and the roll number will be generated. And this, in the future, maybe we can customize it in the settings on how it should be generated. But right now, I just want to first actually automate this, so that the registration number and the roll number, we have them automated. So this can be really tricky depending on how you want it to look like. But I'm just going to take an example where we have, for instance, something like this. Okay, so you have like BU. So this is the school prefix, or the school code. And then you have this. Now in my case, this was either you are a sponsored student or a private student, and this is the year, and then this is the sequence. So I'm just going to tell that to cloud, and we generate for us a function that is going to give us this. So I'm just going to say create a function that generates a student reg number in this format. So let me just take an example of this, where BU is the school code, then you, in fact, I'm just going to say I'm just going reg number in this format. I'm just going to say registration number. Okay, let me just leave it like this, where BU is the school code, UG is the is a code for private sponsored or school sponsored, and 2024 is the current year, and then 00. So I'm just going to add one more 0. Okay, because the schools can be also like in 10,000s or whichever. This can be determined depending on the school you are going to do. That's why like you have to go and install in the school, and you look at the students, like what is their number. But let's just go with that. 001 is the sequence. Okay, let's see what it can just like provide for now. Okay, I don't know if it's just going to be I just created a Python one. I'm just going to edit this, create a TypeScript function. So you can see UG and SS for private, SS for school sponsored. Just going to have school sponsored, and maybe private sponsored. Just going to have maybe PS or something, I don't know. So let's see this function. Just return reg number. So just going to go in the student form here. Okay, and we can just like put this function here, or we can specify it in the libs. Could just say generate reg number dot ts, and then we just put this. Let's just say export function, and it has the types, so I'm just going to copy these types here. Okay, so we have here sponsored sponsorship type. Maybe just going to have whichever code they use for the private sponsored or self-sponsored, I don't know. This one I'm just going to say this, whichever key we are using for the private or for self-sponsored. There is school sponsor, I don't know, like these. We're just going to have SS for school sponsored or sponsored student, and then we have PS for private sponsored. So just going to have PS for private student, and this one is sponsored student, something like this. You can just like have this for PS for private student, and SS for sponsored student, this one for sponsored student. So the good thing is it is you who makes the system. You can just customize this the way you want. I don't know how you're going to customize this, but we need a way for this, the private or this. Okay, and then we have the year. Now for the year, for sure we need to generate this. We need to generate this from this side. Let me see. We don't need to enter the year. So this, as you can see it here, the year is optional. Actually, they just like make it optional, but I don't think in the options we need the year. I'm just going to remove the year so that this is automatic. So I'm just going to cut off this, and then we can just come here and we say const year is equal to this. So the year can be, so yes, only just need to put the school code, and by default just going to leave this BU. Okay, so yeah, the school code by default is going to be BU, so you can just like put in any you want. And then the sponsored student, we can say also by default if you don't pass in, but this is going to be like selected on their side. When you're registering a student, you're just going to ask them if they are sponsored or if they and if they are sponsored or not. Okay, so by default it's going to be private student, so we could just we'll just check this to be the default, but we'll pass it in. And then sequence, now more specific, the sequence is going to be a number. I don't know, we can just actually just like make this, because this one is going to be actually coming from, so I'm just going to make this a string. We could just like pad it or not pad it, because you can see actually just like checking it here to pad it. Here you can just say padded sequence. Okay, we can just like leave it and we pad it from this side. Okay, so just need to pass in the next sequence to this. Okay, so when we call this, we need to first add one more thing to the form. Let me just go back to the form here. I'm just going to go to the form. So on the form, I'm just going to, instead of just like reg number, I'm just going to remove the registration number, but I'm just going to add if this is a private student or is if he's a private or is a self-sponsored student, sorry, a private student or a sponsored student. Just going to have that. Now we could take use of, I'm just going to go back to student form. There are two ways we can do this. We can either use a select, a form select, or we could use this. Taken time without using it. I don't know how even it looks like. We have another one which is actually this radio input. Let's try it and see what it needs. So I'm just going to go down to where we have registration number. Okay, for now I'm just going to comment this, control slash, come on. Okay, my control slash for now is not working. Are you serious? Can I just like do control slash on anything else? What happened to my shortcuts? Control slash. Jesus, like these things, they're not working. Let me see, control P. Okay, so I've commented the reg number. I'm just going to pass in here this, we have radio input in our form inputs. I'm just going to say radio input. Okay, so let's see what this requires. It takes in the, it takes in these things here. Control C, bring them here like this. So it takes in the register. So I'm just going to say register is equal register, and label is going to be student type, maybe student type. We should be able to give it like a default. I don't know. Then here we have the name. We're just going to say here student type. This one we have to add it student type. And then here we have errors. So errors is errors. We still have these radio options. Okay, so these I'm not sure how radio options, the type of radio options, but you can see it has label and ID. Radio options, it has label and the ID. Okay, let's just try that. So I'm just going to go here and have an array. So on top here, I'm just going to go ahead and have, for instance, const. I'm just going to say const. Oh, sorry. I'm just going to say const student types is equal to an array of label. So just say here the first label is going to be private student. Okay, and here the ID is going to be PS, just like this, private student. And then just going to create a second one, which is going to be sponsored student. This one can be sponsored student is SS, just like this. And we can just go down here to where we have this, and let's say student types. So really, I don't know what to expect. Okay, so it has it nicely here. I don't know why we can't have like one default. Is it possible, like in the radio input, to specify like the default? Okay, just see how this one works. So it has like radio options, and then you just come here, type radio, and register the name, the label, okay, how this works, is it just like working like on click? Input type this, value is item.id. Okay, let me just see here. I just want to give a default, so I'm just going to use cloud. I have this, they call it radio input component. I want to add one more prop for the default option, and by default I want so I also want to let you know that my power, our electricity has gone, so I'm on the mercy of my laptop's battery. So let's see if it can help us move on. But right now I will just like writing here a prompt to add something for me here. So I'm just going to remove this. So for the default option, by default I want it to be the first item in the array of, we have these options, the radio options. Okay, so I just want to see what it can do. So you still have everything. So you just say here default value, new prop for this, and let's see. I thought the default could be something, but default selected is default value or radio options as z.id. So this is what it has done, and then here we have default checked is item.id if is equal to, okay, this. Okay, let's see if this can work, still like work, give us the same experience, like we have no errors. The only thing now, we can just go to student form, and then here we could pass in the default value, which is a default ID actually. So if just in the student type, we can just say, for instance, the PS, the private student, and let's go and see if this is going to select the private student by default. Maybe could just like refresh. Okay, just refresh. Okay, so just want to go here, yeah, and you can see the private student is currently the selected one. So this gives us ability not have someone not select the student type, private student or self-sponsored student. And now after having this, okay, the good thing, this is added in the, I'm just going to first go here. Okay, so this is going to be here where we generate, so the const reg number. So since, remember, we removed this, const reg number is going to be equal to generate registration number. And this, you know, it takes in a lot of things. You can just go and check. So it takes in the school code, which we are prefixed to be this one, the student type, okay, and by the way, this one we can also, okay, the student type, and then the sequence. So I'm just going to pass in two things. We'll pass in we could just come here and we pass in, okay, we could just say options. I will pass in the PS, just say here, let me first pass in PS, and the sequence, which is going to be maybe 1. Expected 1 argument but got 2. Okay, so I'm just going to change this to actually require all the 3 arguments. the school code to be required, this one to be required, and the sequence to be required also. So okay, then so here they just say BU, okay, put comma PS comma 1. I don't know why we are getting this. Expected 1 argument but got 3. What's going on here? Oh, this just like took it as like options. I'm just going to do this. This is a function. I'm just going to do this. School code is going to be, school code is a string. Just remove this. I'm not going to pass in, you just want to just pass in an object. I don't want that, so I'm just going to say here school code comma sponsorship type. So you can just like pass this in direct like this, sponsorship type, and then sequence, which is a number, comma something like this. So I can remove this. Okay, school code sponsorship type. So if we just go back the student form, this should be okay. Okay, now we need to add this data dot reg is going to be equal to reg number here. Now for now I'm just going to go ahead and console, so I'm not going to create, because we have added a new key that we want to add in the database also. So I'm just going to have this reg number. Now one thing that we need to fix also is the sequence number. Okay, this sequence 01. So you see this has to be like sort of like automatic. We can't just like have one just like this. It has to be like automatic generated. So we have to pass this in the student form. Okay, and why we're passing this in the student form is that we have to get the last student who was registered last, and we know the last sequence, and then we add maybe one. In fact, the next one, we want to pass in the next one. So this one, we have to pass it in here. So under students here, just go back to the students. So we need to get, we're just going to create here something, another thing here. So just going to say get student last, maybe student next sequence, something like this. So just going to create this. Maybe we could just create one which is like student sequence. Okay, we're just going to create a spot in our API. So I'm just going to go back to the API. Quickly, we have to do two things to this API. One, we're just going to add the student type that you have just added to the schema. So let me quickly go to this student, and then I'm just going to go here. I'm just going to go here and say student that is going to be a string. Okay, and then you're just going to say add default. So you're going to say add default. In fact, I'm just going to say that this is not required, something like this. Okay, and I'm also just going to give it a default, just not to have issues. I'm just going to have this to be PS, the private student. Now you could just have created this as enum. It could also work, but I'm just going to work with this. Okay, so how about we have to push this. So I'm just going to say npx prisma db push, just something like that. And then we'll also go ahead and create a new endpoint. Okay, this is still running. I will just go to routes. So where we have the students here in the routes, like so. So we could just create a gate endpoint. So this is going to be a gate endpoint. So we have already students, just like this. Okay, we could just have student slash you know, like could be like student slash sequence, something like this. And then we're just going to say here get next sequence, get next student, get student sequence. I'm just going to go ahead and create this and just go here. Okay, I'm just going to duplicate this and just paste this one here. So basically what we want is to get the last student first, last student, and this is going to be find first, find first, and order by created at. This is okay. And then so before we return here, we just need to get first of all, we have to first get the reg number. Okay, we have to get the reg number, and for that I think we'll also delete some of the students. I'm just going to go ahead and delete the students. So I'm just going to say npx prisma studio, because we need to extract the sequence. Okay, we need to extract the sequence. So I'm just going to say npx prisma studio. I just like first look at the students who are currently there. So you just go to students. I'm just going to go ahead and delete them and leave only basically one. So if you just look at them, I want to leave, you can see student type has been given PS because of the default value. I just want to get the one who has this reg number of BU UG 2024-001. This one is the only one I'm just going to leave there. So just check like this. I'm just going to go delete these 4 records and just going to remain only with one student. So basically what this is going to do here just go back to the API, and of course we could run here npm run dev. So here we just get the last student. So from the last student, let's go ahead and say const reg number. So here we just get the reg number, which is going to be last student dot reg number. Okay, and then from this I'm just going to split. Okay, split this at a slash, so this will give us an array. So the array is this. I want you to remember, for instance, the reg number is of this BUUG 2024/001. Okay, so something like this. So first of all, if you split this, you have 0, 1, 2, 3. So here on the array we select the third one. Okay, so we're just going to get, actually just call this one last sequence. Last sequence. Last sequence. Reg number dot split. So here we get this, and then what next? So here we get now this. So we could just say okay, so I'm just going to say here, this is going to be sort of like 001. Okay, so what we could do is that I'm just going to say that if, so this one is going to say string sequence. This is a string sequence. I'm just going to say const last sequence. The actual last sequence is going to be equal to, so here you can just say pass int. So I'm just going to say if string sequence exists, if this exists, then I'm just going to say pass pass, sorry, this is supposed to be pass int, okay, of string, of the string sequence, or 0. So if there is none, we start from this, from 0. Okay, so I'm just going to go here and say now next sequence. Okay, so I'm just going to return the next sequence, which is going to be last sequence plus 1. I think you could just say like last sequence plus plus. I'm just going to say last sequence plus 1. I'm just going to go this, and let's call this, I would want to go this endpoint and confirm. So let's open our Postman, and I'm just going to add under students. Let's duplicate one here, duplicate. I'm just going to rename this to sequence. Sequence. I know you thought maybe this would be really easy. It is not. Most especially if you want to know to increment them. So I'm just going to go here and I just say API students, and then like sequence. I don't know, we just called it seq. I think that just like okay. So just want to see what does this actually return back before we just go and call this on the front end. I expect it to return at this point, I think 2. I think 2. Okay, I don't know why it is taking long to do that. Let's just see. Oh, we have this. It is on the students. Okay, wait. It's supposed to be something like this. Okay, so the response, wait, did not just, oh, copy, and then I'm just going to go here and I paste it here. So this is going to be const next sequence is equal to that, and then you're just going to say next sequence. Okay, so that should just work. I'm just going to send one more time. Okay, so you can see just returns 2. Okay, so that means like it found the first person. Now this is the second one. So let's go back. So just simply need to hit this endpoint in the web to get this. So the endpoint is student/seq. So here, just like this sequence, and the data return this just next sequence return next sequence. This is as a number, so this is as number, so this is supposed to be a number. So this one we need to call this in the where we have students new page. So before we do anything on top here where we are fetching classes, we need to say const next sequence. Okay, is going to be await, and then we get this. There is nothing we have to pass in. Okay, just going to give this a default of 0 just in case. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass this to student form, and let's say next. So you see here next sequence is going to be equal to next sequence, and just copy this next sequence, and let's go here and we add it on this next sequence, which is going to be actually a number. Single student form props, just go on top here and just do this. This is going to be a number. Just something like that. Okay, great. And now this is what we will pass in when it comes to this. So here where we have 1, instead we pass in next sequence, something like this. So you can see how it moves. So for this here, we just need to do one more thing to the student props. So in the student props here, just add in only one thing. Just add in one thing. Scroll down here. Just going to add in student type. Student type. Okay. Oh, sorry. So the student type is here, and this is a string for now. Okay, so this might also bring in some issue when it comes to this. So now that we have a student type, you could pass it in instead of this PS, we could just say const. Okay, student type type is equal to data dot student type. Okay, and you say as, so you could just say ps stroke stroke ss, and now just pass one here, student type something like this. So the only keyword now we have is this, that you can pass in. Others are automatic. So when someone chooses a private student, it's just going to be PS. If he chooses something else, so what we just want to do or to check is actually data. So console.log and data. I'm so going to set the loading to false. So just go back to our form. I'll refresh, and then I will also go to this to the inspect. Okay, so just go to the console, just fake fill everything. Of course, the password will not give us space. So right now we have private student. I just change this to sponsored student so that we know this is working also. I'm just going to go to clear everything and click on save. Cannot read properties of now reading student form. Why did we do this? I must make sure that everything is select parent stream. I guess here everything looks okay. Let's try one more time. Okay, so we have here this let's see, I'm just interested in two things. The first one is, okay, so firstly this, okay, reg number you can see nicely, BUSS 2024-002. Okay, so we already have 001 student. Now we have this 002, which is nice. And then of course the student type is SS, which means the school sponsored student. Okay, it means like student sponsored, sorry, school sponsored student. Okay. Okay, so this is good. So far, like everything right now. Now I don't know for the roll number. Using, I guess, a create another TypeScript function that generates a roll number. Student, I'm just going to say student roll number. Yes, a student. For sure, I even don't know how the roll number looks like. How does the roll number look like? Let me just see here. What I was going to try to do, I'll move with that. Oh, the roll number looks like how? Jesus, like I have no idea of how a roll number should look like. Example is EC. This is really complicated. Like the department, course code, year, shift, stream. I don't know about that. This is generated from. I don't know how the student roll number looks like. But I'm just going to say I know it has to be generated student roll number in the format CS 2024 1001. Then it is course code. Let me just say here, this is for assume the student is in like primary school or like secondary school, maybe secondary school. I don't know if these just like format class and then stream information, and then here you say admission year, then there is form, stream, and then sequence, then school code. They still like this is still very complicated. We already have registration number. I don't know how roll number is supposed to look like, to be sincere. I'm just going to generate just simple random number of maybe 8 characters or something, like 8 numbers, but it cannot just also be in this format. We have already done like enough features. I'm just going to roll number. I'm just going to tell it to be in the format. Let it be in the format like yeah, okay, yeah, month, and then date, okay, month, yeah, date, and then time, okay, with node access, just like something like that. Okay, just don't have to. Okay, so let me see here what the outcome looks like. I simply want the outcome of this. Timestamp roll, something like this. I don't know if this is just like a huge number, like 2024 01 25, and then the time. Okay. detailed role, where you pass in a prefix and then the sequence. I don't want to pass in the sequence. Okay, I don't want to pass in a sequence. I just simply need a small one. Please, you are overthinking. Just me a basic function with no params. I don't know why sometimes like you find Cloud is really overthinking on something that is basic, and you find it is taking like a lot of time to really overthink about something. You tell it not to overthink, but it's going to be like overthinking all the time. So the roll number is just going to be something like that. I'm not going to also overthink about it. So I will just come here in this web thing here in the lib. I'm just going to put the generate roll.ts, and I'll just like put export just function get roll number, takes in the new date, gets a full year, month, date, hours, and minutes, and just simply just concatenates this. Okay. Yeah, like this makes sense. I'm just going to go here and for the roll number also. So here I'll just say const roll number is equal to generate roll number. So just in case you have any suggestion on how to generate like the roll number or how the roll number looks like, if you're just like an actual practicing teacher, you can just give us a hint on how we can handle this. But for now, I'm just going to take it like that is equal to roll number, something like this. I'm just going to go in the form and I will remove the roll number. Okay, so we have the roll number here. I'm taking this off. Okay, so going back in the form, how does this look like? More so right now, I believe if I just like refresh, okay, student, I'm just going to do fake fill here, select the parent here, S1 stream 1C, and everything is okay. State, so we basically just have this, so you can just like say this student, let's just say private student this time, clean, and let's save. So you see right, the roll number now also will be auto generated. So we have let's see, so you have the reg number 002, and you can see the roll number now is this. Okay, so nice. We're just going to leave it like this, stream title, and then the student type like that, and that's great. Okay, that's really great. I'm just going to see how the form changes. So we could move the student type here, and then we have all these space for address. And you could just add the student type here, so I'm just going to move it a little bit. The student type, you could just cut this and just replace it while we have this roll number. I'm also just going to comment it just in case you still want it. You can change the logic, but I'm just going to do that. And then for the text area, remains like this. Oh, okay, that doesn't look good. I'm just going to return back the way it was. Okay, the way it was really good. Okay, then I could bring the address here. I don't know if the address really needs to be. I'm just going to take the address to actually just on top here to be just a text input. I don't know if it just like needs to be a text area for sure. The student address. I'm just going to go here where we have this. We might just like need to make this just address. Okay, and the same thing here. Copy this and I will just comment this. It doesn't have to be really a text area for the address. I think so, but if you still think it needs to be a text area, you can just go ahead and do that. For now, let's just like leave it like this. If there is any information we need to add, we'll add it in the future as we move on. As you can see, you realize something nice and then you come and add it just like that. So just like right now, try to create a student with this whole new format thing. Just going to comment one thing. So let's come here and await, and then all these reset and then push. Okay, let's just go ahead and try to create a student, and then just do this. Everything looks to be okay. Just going to say Kampala, Uganda as the location. Private student, so it should be SP. So I'm just going to go here and just save student. Okay, we need to refresh. I don't know what that problem is of this error. Okay, same, we have a serious error, as in serious. What is that null value? Now it takes off the whole entire page. Cannot read properties of an undefined student form. The problem, we cannot know now what is causing the problem. Not sure what is the problem here, guys. Oh, is that our API working? Like, we might just like find this side, because it seems like there is something going on. Oh, expected invalid format. What was that? Invalid date format. expected this. That is for which one now? Okay, I'm just like first restart the server. I have no idea of the invalidate thing. We didn't change anything. I just get the students. Okay, I don't know like what's going on. Okay, let's try creating this. Just fill in the parents here and the stream. We should just add validations on this. Quick or sooner or later will cause problems. Okay, private student. I'm just going to go here and save. Of course, the password. And then I just go here save. Okay, so this is where we get actually the invite student thing. Okay, this is for what exactly? At convert date to ISO. Expected format is YYM_date. Convert date to ISO. So let's say in the student, in the controller here, in the create, is where we're having this. Oh, first of all, okay, these okay. We have their DOB and we have convert to ISO. Okay. And the expected format they're talking about invite date. Okay, so I think we could just like handle this. I don't know what is going on right now. Okay, let me just console.log data. So before we send this, create student, I'm just going to go ahead and comment. Okay, I just want to see what is going on here. We have another error. Oh, okay, so I think we're not getting this sequence since we have that problem, because the sequence must be between this. Okay, so let's just like have this. I don't know, the date looks to be fine, so I'm just going to migrate this convert date to ISO. I'm just going to copy this and let me bring it in here. No, like today we're just like handling weird issues. And then so what I'm just going to do is, we don't need to handle it this side, so I could just take off this and even this here, and the only thing may be admission date. Even admission date, okay, are we not selecting admission date? Where is the admission date? because you have date of birth. Okay, I think that's what the problem is. Where do we have admission date? Okay, so specifically we don't have the admission date. Okay, I'm just going to take back the address to where it is, and then it's date of birth, and then I'm just also going to put admission date. And specifically, I think that was the problem. And just put back DOB here. Must have not been date of birth, must have been on this admission. So I'm just going to go back to the student form. Just going to scroll down to where we have this address. I'm just going to copy this. I will just simply say admission date, and this is going to be admission date, and for the address, let's just go ahead and add it here as usual. So I'm just going to add this. Oh, should it is while we have it down here. Okay, let's just see. We have the address, and now we have the admission date. The only thing we just need to change is the type. So this is going to be type date. Okay, so let's just say today. Okay. So let me restart. The server seems to be working right now, and I'm just also going to start even here. I think that was the problem, the admission date, I believe. Okay, let's just go and check. So we're just going to try to save a student. Think everything is set. Okay, let's refresh. We just use a fake field here, choose a stream, the password, and the battery is warning, guys, without even the student being created. But this is good. Like the logic we have put, you may think, but you saw how it gave us hard time. I'm serious right now. Like this is not doing anything, really. What is going on? Like I'm just save student, everything looks okay. I don't know why it doesn't have to complicate it to this. Go to the console, type cannot be provided null value, so we still have the null value that we didn't select. Probably is the parent. We need to really put those logic. You can see how they are they're not doing anything, like you can sleep there. Okay, just try it this time. Something is happening and success. We can just say student registered successfully here. Student successfully created. Okay, just see this. Okay, so you can see BUPS 2024-002. This is good. Okay, so this was auto-generated. If we just go ahead and create the third one, and this time we're just going to create a private a private student. I'm just going to do again a fake field. Select the class to be maybe class 5, and then the streams here. Quickly change this. I don't know, here we didn't give on the student password what is actually disturbing us. We didn't give the type. Okay, you could also specify that the type is password. You can see here in the student form password input. Is it? Yeah, so they just like passing the type here to be password, so that the auto generate thing does the magic. Okay, so it seems like everything is okay except the parent. I'm very sure I'm just going to select the auto parent there, but it's going to be giving us a lot of errors. Okay, so right now you can see, oh, we created again the private students. We didn't change to let's create the third one or first one. Fake field. Let me start with the parent. This, and now you can see the password here is at least like auto generated very nicely. I'm just going to change this to self-sponsored or sponsored student. Everything looks okay. We could also test the upload at this point. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and test the upload. I'm not seeing any of my photos. Okay, I'm just going to use this one. Okay. I'm just like check if the upload thing is working. Error something. I don't know if just like it is our upload, or upload thing is still having issues. I'm not so sure about that. Let's just go to the image input. So you have the student profile image. If you just go to our API core, so you could just go to our API core, front school API core. We have the parent, we have the student. You can see the student profile image, student profile image, and we have the token, I believe, the upload thing token. I think upload thing is still having some issues. Okay, I think Upload thing is still having some issues, but that it doesn't stop us. I'm just going to create. Okay, so you can see this one now is a school sponsored, and this is a private sponsored student, and this is really good. You can see 001, and then these do 3 and 4, like these are generating themselves. The sequence, you don't have to do that. So now they just go ahead and connect. Actually, power is back. I'm just going to go ahead and connect the school now. We might need to delete all the students, but we need to do a relationship, more especially this side in the schema. Okay, so if I just go back the schema here, we have the parent, we have the streams, and then we have the class. We have the contact is alone. Okay, I don't know, we could just attach, everything has to be attached to the school. Okay, everything has to be attached to the school. The classes now, most like the class, and then the parent and the student. Okay, and the student. So okay, the thing is, I'm not sure if but still everything has to be connected except the stream. Okay, I'm just going to first run this by cloud and see if it can just like suggest anything different. Okay, just see here, if I have this schema. Okay, I want to create a relationship where students, class, and parents all belong to a particular school. Can you add the relationship? I just like see here. Okay, so in the school you can just like see that simply we add the student, these classes, parents, and the streams. I wonder if we really need to add the streams in the particular school, because the schools, the how we are picking these the streams, must belong to a particular class, and we're going to always get the streams from there. But for the classes, they have to have a particular school, but the streams, they must belong to a particular class, as simple as that. And I don't think really we need to, I'm just going to ask it here. It also depends how we are going to be fetching them. Okay, if you check on how we are fetching if you just go in academics, you can see we have classes and streams. Okay, so at a particular point, I would think from here, for instance, if I clicked on this, what we have now, the streams, and we have like maybe 2 students, and you want to actually click like view all students, we're just going to add this button here, view all students in 1A. So that means like this would take us to something like academics, streams. Okay, still I think it would be good. I think it is really necessary to register as a stream and a particular school, because it would be very easy if we fetched something like this. So it would be like academics, and then we say streams, and then streams, and then we say maybe something like 1A. Okay. The good thing, I think they have a slug. Yeah, streams must be having a slug. So you have something like this, streams 1A. So particularly means that basically we need to have the particular school. Like we don't need to actually, like, by default we'll pass in behind the scenes the school ID, because the school ID is going to be generally everywhere. So we might just like need to pass in, we don't need to specify the school ID, we just simply say 1A, and this should just know. I think it is okay to add this to add the streams also. So and this is okay. So we can just like go ahead and add these particularly to the school. So here on the school, we simply just need to add the relationships, just like this. And then the only thing we also want to do is simply specify the ID. So if you just go back to the classes, simply we'll add something like school ID. Okay. And then the school. Okay. And we just have to put cascade delete. This is to ensure that actually it is deleted. When we delete a school, we want everything to get deleted from the system. So here in the class, I'm just going to come put a relationship down here where we have the school ID, and we also have the school. Okay, just down here. Okay, why am I doing this? Just put here the school. So we have the school ID, which is a string, and then like we have this school at relation the school ID, and then we have on delete cascade. This is very important to put on delete cascade in just in case we delete the school. Also we'll also put on delete cascade for let me first copy this, and then we put of course in the stream here. So I'm just going to put on the stream, but we also need also to put this between the stream and the class. We need to specify actually also on delete. Okay, I'm just going to delete to cascade. When you delete a stream, a class, then these streams should be also deleted. And then of course the parents, just going to come here, put this, and then students. Okay, so also on the students put this. Okay, so the question is, okay, we have added that in the schema, of course. Okay, before we push this, because after pushing this is going to cause a lot of errors, I will of course give, I think I'll give the default ID for this school here. I'm going to give the default ID for now, not to get errors. But then we have to have a way how we are going to say it. After registering a new school, we need to have a way all this information now has to change with a where school ID is that. Okay, so we're going to see that how are we going to manage that. I'm still thinking about how we are going to manage that. It is a little bit tricky, but it's something we need to really work around and see if we wanted this particular school. How do we get this? How do we get that? And how do we make the information in the whole app global for that particular school? We might just like use a not a context. I might use stand for that. I might just use like stand for that, and for that case, even the particular logins, I don't know where we are going to be picking that. Like when a school registers, that's why we create like a slug of the school, so that even the login page is particularly for that school. Like we pick it on the login. We could just like pick it on the login and then like we set it global. I'm just going to see here how I'm just going to manipulate that. Okay. Okay, so first of all, we don't have anywhere we have the school details. Like under settings, we have what we have like here, the school profile. Okay, but the good thing is that we have at least one school already with the details. Let's first go here and see. If you go under schools, you can just get the registered schools here. Let's just like do this. Okay, we have this, and then we have also the name, and also the good thing, we have a slug like St. John's High School. Okay, that means that we can have the slug must be unique. That means like we can just like create these depending on which school is like logging in. I don't know how we're going to do that. How do we know the school? That means that when we are signing up, when someone creates the school, we need to register like the users where we have these, and then we give them like roles. So if you check like the parent here, let's just go and check the parent. I'm just going to come here, and also in the parent, so you can see it has everything, but this is supposed to be how we are going to handle these, like the parent, just like this. How are we going to handle this? So we have the parents, they have also the password, and then we have the student, they also have the password. Okay. So this is okay. This is okay. So instead, what you're just going to do is we are going to create we are going to create a user. Because the whole thing of how we are going to know this is going to be on the login, whoever is logging in, and if you are going to add that on the login, then it means that it should be okay. It should be, for instance, it means that we are going to say the school ID on the profile in the session. yeah, that means like whoever is logged in, the school ID is going to be put on the session. And if that is the case, meaning that it has to be put on the user, where upon registration is going to be put on that. You're just going to have that on the user. Okay. Okay, so we just have to create roles. Okay. The problem is that in the school also we have a lot. We have a lot of people that are in the school administration that might be need access. Okay, that might need access to the system. Does it mean that we need to create the roles and permissions? Like we might complicate this more than it needs to be. Like the way I did for this inventory management, this inventory app we did. If you just look at this, I don't know if we need something like that. I don't know if that is like would be complicating it really, because if you just come here, you look at, we have users and we have roles. So when you just come to the roles, you said you can create a new role. So you can see right now we have like all these roles, and if you just come here, you can just like add a new role, and then you give these the pages or the permissions of what can be seen or what cannot be seen, and you have this. You get a role and the description, and then when you are creating a new user, here you can see, if you just can to add a user, you will see that this user comes specifically with a role. So you can see have all these roles that actually automatically like you can create. So I don't know, does it need to be this complicated? Like the school, we could just like say we are preparing login for maybe 5 people or 3 people, and maybe that one could be easy. I don't know, like we could just have like administrator for the school. We have the teacher. I think we're just going to have only 3 people who can log in the system. We just have the secretary. Okay, we could just have the secretary. We could have an administrator, and then we could we have the student, and then we have, yeah, we could just like have a few roles, something like that. Okay, but I wasn't just like really diving into actually like authentication at this point right now. I didn't want us to do authentication at this point. I just want just like to be moving on with other things that we need to create. Maybe at this point we should just like create teachers. We first leave that concept. Might be just like really a bit we need just to handle it with authentication, and at the same time for the roles we take 4 roles: the student, teacher, parent, and then an administrator. Okay, we basically have to take those ones. We can also add secretary. Like we can just like add roles. You guys can suggest in the comment section like which roles should we look at in that case. Like how many roles should we consider for this system? It is something I didn't think about considering in the first place. Like how many roles should we handle? I was thinking only teachers, student, and the parent, but they have to exceed more than that. Okay, so at this point I think we could just create about teachers. Okay, I'm just going to look at the time. Okay, just like 1 hour 41. we could just like use this and create a teacher. I'm just going to first go back to our Prisma, and I might just like need to go ahead and comment out these here. We might just like put these ones later. Just going to comment them out just like this, and just also go back to the class, and these two I'm just also going to comment these out. The same thing to this, and the same thing here, like that. Okay, seems like we have one error. Okay, in the student, also comment this, sorry. I'm just going to select and comment. Okay, so this is something we're just going to add in as we are adding authentication. This has to be the school ID. The best way to do this is to add the school ID on the logged in user, and we'll also set this upon login. We'll set the school ID, and we'll use Zustand to set the school ID global, and then it will be accessed everywhere in the app. Yeah, that is really the fact that every page you just go on, you need to be authenticated, so the school ID will be available under all circumstances, which is really great at that point. Okay, so what do we need to do? I just want to work on the teachers right now. So we have the parents here. Okay, we have the parents. Okay, and then we just need to add the teachers under here. Just going to add the teachers. Okay, so let's continue. So we're just going to go ahead and create a route for the. I'm just going to go here in the web. So I'm just going to add a route for in the users. I'm just going to add a route for, I don't know, where is this route? We have the dashboard, students. Where do we have this? After the students, we have users. So I'm just going to put teachers here. And it's going to be users and then teachers, like this. So you should just have like here a route for teachers. So I will go ahead and we can create this. So if we just go the dashboard and then users, so we have the parents. I will just simply duplicate this and name this to be teachers. So they just like stop, and then just going to start again. Okay, so we now have teachers. I'm just going to go to page. The only thing I'm just going to change is only just put here teachers, teacher, and dashboard, users, teachers, new. Okay, So this is going to be teacher, and then here of course we'll change to teachers, and even here teachers. Of course we just create these functions, but let's just go ahead and find out which fields are we going to add for teachers. So I'm just going to go to cloud. I'm just going to go back to the the school management software here, and I need to ask about the teachers. Okay, so you can see here I want you to create for me the Prisma schema for a teacher. So just select what can you add in the teacher, what things can you ask about the teacher. There will be so many things, but I think we have to have the teacher ID, so the one that can appear on the ID. Will not use this one. So we have personal information, phone, email, date of birth, gender, the avatar. This is the profile image. Of course, the password. We'll have those one is active. Last login. Then employee ID. So we can, I think, use this on the ID. Designation, senior teacher, head of department, and then department. So we can also have ability to create departments, and then we can also have specialization. This the main subject, and then qualification, highest education qualification, and then of course we just have the subjects, and then we have the classes, and then we have the documents, and then we have the address. This is the then emergency contact. We might just like only we don't need this information. Additional information, experience, like years of experience, that one is okay. Then the biotext, skills, okay. Then here you could have relationship. Okay, this is where we have the school ID. This is we know we'll add this in the school ID. Then attendance and leave. Then leaves. Then there is events, school events they are involved in, and then we have all these supporting models. We have now this subject teacher. I don't know if we just have to have this. I don't know if just like necessary. And then class teacher. Okay. And then we have also the teacher document. And then we have the teacher attendance and also teacher leave, gender, then document type. And then here we have attendance status, leave type, and leave status. Okay, yeah, this looks like really too much, but we need to have this also for the teacher. So just going to copy this. Some of these you're just going to remove, but for now let's go here down and add them. Okay, let's start from up here. This is where it just starts from. So just going to be removing some things and adding some things. So we have the personal information, the first name, last name, email, phone, date of birth, gender, and this is going to be the image URL, or the profile image. And then we have authentication. So of course this is going to change a little bit afterwards, but for now let's just go ahead and get this. So then we have the password is active, last login. These ones might be actually on all users. And then the professional information, the employee ID. So this is going to be like the teacher ID, this one. But since we can have also like the non-teaching staff, also they will have the employee ID. So there is date of joining, designation, department. Now I don't know if we should create have like something to create departments. It might be something also like required to create departments, and then we assign to those people, like we assign a teacher like which department does he fall in. So the department, this one you yet to decide. Then the main subject, okay, but still like there is while we have subjects, of course, yeah. Then teaching details, this will have subjects, and there is subject teacher. I don't know if we will create just like the subject teacher. Let me just look at the subject teacher and see. Then it has the teacher. Oh, and then it has a relationship with the subject. Okay, so I don't know if we need to also to have this subject teacher is having like a relationship. Is this like a 1-2 subjects? You can see this is an array. I don't know why it is not linked with direct with the subject. It's just like having subject teacher. And then classes, we also have the class teacher. The classes they are responsible for this one. Yeah, you can find someone can be a class teacher of senior 4, can be also a class teacher of senior 3. I think this is really okay. We'll see how we're going to do this. I might just like leave to link it differently. Then we have documents. Then we have here a ticket document like this. For the documents, yeah, for the document it is okay because someone might give different documents. We need to save the titles, like which document is he adding. If you just look at the ticket document, I believe there is the teacher, the type of document, and then here we have the title and then the URL or the document itself. This one is okay. This one is okay. Then you have the address, then the emergency contact. I don't know if this is required. Maybe we just like have the next of kin or something, but they just leave them here. Then we have experience, years of experience. Then there is bio. This is okay. Okay, I don't know if this is required at db.text. We just have it as just the normal string. Oh, okay, we could just like have it like with an editor. Then we have skills, other skills maybe, and then we have the school. So this one is going to be related with the school, so I'm just going to comment that. Then attendance and leave, these ones are okay, but then the events, for now let's remove the events. Then also I'm just also going to remove these ones for now. The only thing I think I just need to give is the table. So the way we have been giving these ones tables, I'm just going to say give it a table of teachers. So below here I will add this, and then I'm just going to say teachers. Okay, we have one error. I don't know what this is coming from. Okay, the subject. So we have the subject teacher. I don't know, I'm still skeptical about this. Creating another subject teacher, which is linking the subject with a teacher. If you look in the subject teacher, it has the teacher ID and the subject. Eventually, of course, we need to create the subject. You could just say create the subject model. We just need to have the subject. That one is okay. I don't know if all these ones are some necessary really. We don't need all these for the subject really. No, we don't need this class subject syllabus. Who does this? We just like need to modify and create this like in simple, really in simple terms. I'm just going to create this. Okay, first remove these. I'm just going to say if practical lab required. I don't think that one has all these ones are required, is optional. This one is okay. As theory, I don't know, is active, is optional, has theory, syllabus. These ones are not required. Then it has teachers, class. I don't know if these are required. They just need something to be really easy. ID, so the name, the code, then there is a short name. Okay, the code is okay. These three are okay. Then description. The class description is not required. Category and type. Then credit passing marks. These ones are okay. Total marks, credit hours, number of credit hours. This one is not. The category, core, elective. I'm just going to remove this. Theory, practical, both. Yeah, this the type is okay. The category is. I'm skeptical about the category. Let me first bring in the syllabus. No, resources. Okay, we can just like bring in these ones. The category, subject type, and then weekday. I think I'm just going to bring in these two. Okay, so the subject category, core, elective, additional, vocational, language, extra curriculum. I think that one is very okay. When you're creating like a subject, like we specify the subject category, the subject type. I'm just going to remove this number of credit hours. Passing marks is okay. These ones will really pass when you're just like working on the promotion. If someone is above the passing mark, and we can promote him based on this, I guess. The total marks, okay. Then school and school ID, this is okay. Then so when you're creating a subject, we're not going to base on this. We're not going to have, it can have teachers. A subject will have teachers. Okay, but I don't know if it's just going to be on the subject teacher. A subject can have teachers. That is for sure. Then is active. So these ones, they by default, of course, is optional. So these ones we just like leave them the way they are, like this. Okay, the class, I didn't expect it to be this huge, but most of the things are really like required. Okay. I'm not sure if we just need a slug for this, because at some point we might just like need to route to a subject. I don't know if that will be like required, but let me just like add the slug, since it's also going to be unique. So string, and it's going to be also unique. Okay, so that seems to be nice and correct. Okay, then we still have one problem here about the class. Okay, the class teacher thing is main teacher default, academic year. I'm still skeptical about this. When you're creating like a teacher, I'm just going to go back here and see. These are okay. Personal information is okay. Okay, then we have employee ID. This is okay. Date of joining, designation, department. So the one we could create would be the department, because normally like a school you find they have like only 2 or 3 departments, like science and then like this. So you could also create a department and we connect to that. Just create here, create a department model. Okay. The problem I always have, like it just like goes and like it makes it like really like too much of it. So I'm just going to get this. Once again, I'm just going to remove all these things it added. Like it normally adds what is really not necessary. Like I'm just going to up to here, copy this. Okay, I'm just going to go down here and add department. So the department, apart from this, the name, I'm just going to put description of the department. I'm just going to have show display name. I'm just going to use the name. I'll just only leave name and maybe the slash only, and then this is going to be string, and then like unique. Then all these other ones, academic, administrative, I'm just going to leave this. These ones, all these ones, I'm not going to put hierarchy, and then like department. There will be no like, there will be just like as simple as that. The school, yeah, this is okay. And then there is HOD, current head of department. These ones we can just like leave them here. Has started, when the current HOD has history. Then the teachers, teachers is okay. And then the subject is okay also. Then budget, okay, budget here. There's then the email, or these I'm not going to leave them there. Then resources, I don't want these ones, they'll be added maybe later. Achievements, I'm just going to give it only at map, and then we just say this is going to be departments. Okay, then we have these teachers. Teachers to have a department, that is for sure. And then the subject, okay, the subject can also have a department, that is for sure. So I'm just going to go here and get these two here. So I can just like add in the teacher. So where we have here the department, and shall also add the department name and just something like this. Okay, department ID, as simple as that. You can also just you can just leave like that. That you can also add that to the subject. Okay, we can just like the subject here, we can add the department. I'm just going to leave it like this. Okay, so here we have, okay, then we have, this is the class teacher thing. We're still having the class teacher thing. I just go back to the class. I'm still skeptical about this whole thing. The class teacher. So the, I think just going to only connect to is a teacher when I'm creating a teacher. When it come, we'll have the subjects, and I'm just going to go here to where we have the subject. So just connect this directly to the subject, something like this. So when you're creating a subject, do you have to choose the teacher? For now, I'm just going to say the subjects. We're not going to connect to the actual subjects, or we could just like have subject IDs, I believe. Because if we connect like this, it will have to create a relationship that error validating subject model teacher, the relation field subject on model teacher is missing the opposite. So basically, I would not want to create a complicated relationship, like a many-to-many relationship. I think that's why they were creating a class teacher and a subject teacher. What I'm just going to do is the subject, these are going to be like string array, like this. Okay, I'm just going to put them in a string array. If I wanted, I also could save like the subject IDs, but I can just like use the subjects like this, and here we just use a mart select, and then we just add them in an array, maybe something like that. We're going to see how what you're going to do, but here we simply just need the subjects. The same thing, the classes. The classes, I think where he is a class teacher, or the classes is involved in. So for the classes, this might be really important. So I'm just going to say classes. I'll also put the string like this. Because when you're creating a class can have multiple teachers, and multiple teachers can have multiple classes. So this is like a many-to-many situation. That's why I was creating an intermediate, the class teacher stuff, but we can play around with it. Just create this to be a string array, And then what I can also do is to track, I could just say classes IDs, and I also save these IDs just like this. If I just want the IDs and this one, this would be like easy to not to do a very complicated fetch. I can have them like this. Maybe we just call them class IDs. Okay. And then now documents. A teacher can have their documents. I don't know if it is necessary they upload their documents. Okay, for this, for this, we have the we could just like actually just also do that, like you add a document and then we connect to it. That would be okay. A teacher can have multiple documents. So like how do we do that? That's like a one-to-many. So when you're like creating a document, you simply choose a teacher. This one is okay. Okay, that one is okay. And then all these others, they are okay. So I want to know what are these errors. Okay, the class teacher thing now is gone. And just running this teacher document, that one is okay. Teacher document is okay. We still have also teacher attendance. Just going to look at that. Also this, I'm taking off this one. Okay, we basically have one error. And then in the subject, a subject can also have teachers. Okay, that is true. A subject can have like teachers. It's something we're just going to add later. I'm just going to remove this. Leave the school. Okay. Okay, so we have no any errors right now, and we have created a lot of models, and this will be a really long drive, a serious drive. Then teacher attendance, yeah, a teacher attendance really is required. That one is okay. Then also teacher leave, start date and date type, and then the reason, and then the status. Approved by ID of the admin who approved it, and then this here, index teacher ID. Okay. Right now this looks great. So everything starts from the teacher here. Everything starts from this one, and then we'll create all the necessary things that are required to be able to create a teacher. Okay, it's the time. Okay, So we might just like only start the form and we add everything, but we might not be able to add these to add all these ones. For instance, documents. Okay, the good thing is the document doesn't kind of be fetched. City, address, state, country, code. Some of this information is going to be added on the detail when you go to create the detail. You might not have all these at once. Okay. Then we have department. Okay, and then we have subject. Make sure all these ones stay this. So for instance, just going to put at subjects, and then we have teacher document. This teacher documents, and then this teacher attendances. Teacher attendances. Just fix this attendances, and then here we have teacher leaves. Teacher leaves. Okay. Great. So we just need to see how we're just going to create all these forms. Okay. I'm just going to start with the teacher. Okay. I need to push this. So I'm just going to say here stop all these servers. Let me hope we don't have any errors. So I'm just going to come here and say npx prisma db push and npx prisma, and after working on all these forms, we'll have to work on authentication at some point. Npx prisma db push and npm run dev. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and create the forms for the teacher, and then we start going ahead and see what we can do with this. So here under this page, we have the parent form. I will just duplicate this to teacher form. Teacher form, and then here we'll have teacher. So it has to be teacher form, something like this. Okay, so I'm just going to go back, and where we have teacher new, to use the teacher form. Okay, so if I just go to new, go to teachers, Okay, so add teacher. This take us like the teacher's new, and let's start like customizing this. Okay, so just go down here. This is teachers. Yeah, this is teacher. Okay, then down here also on the footer, I will just say teacher, and then here teachers. This is going to be teacher, and then this is going to be teachers. Okay, create teacher, save teacher. So some of these things are just going to remain. So from what we have here, we just need to be moving just like first name, last name, email, phone, date of birth, gender, and image. These ones are just remaining. First name, last name. So we're just going to bring the email on top here in the second row. So that makes sense. I'm just going to go to where we have the email. So just copy this, or in fact cut this. I'm just going to bring it after this first one, and then in the second one, email and phone. So here I'm just going to do this and make sure this is 3. Just put here 3, just like that. Okay, so you have phone, email, WhatsApp number. So of course the WhatsApp number is also required. That one is good. WhatsApp number. Let me just go here in the teacher, just going to add, and the phone actually the phone number is really necessary and should be unique. And then here just going to say WhatsApp number, WhatsApp, like I don't know the spelling of WhatsApp, guys. Okay, whatever the case, we'll just move with this. Let me see the fix. Okay, WhatsApp number. So this can be like a person might just not have a smartphone, so this is okay. And then date of birth, then we have gender and image. So the title I think is also like required here, so we can also add the title. Okay, and then we don't need relationship, but national ID is required, so we might need national ID. So I can just copy this from the parent where we have nationality. Let me see here. So we have this NIN. Okay, and of course nationality. So scroll down to teacher, just need to have a NIN, specialization, address, country. So instead of all this, we're just going to take only address, and for the country just going to take that as nationality. nationality string. Okay, the postal code, remove this postal code. Okay, I just like move on. So here just going to have the nationality thing coming here while we have this here. So I'm just going to move the nationality to where we have the relationship. So we're just going to cut this, and we already have the phone, I believe. So I'm just going to go to where we have this here. I'm just going to add nationality there. So we have nationality, and then we have the national ID or passport number. Passport number. So it's supposed to be passport number. Okay, then the gender, that one is okay. Then we have date of birth. The preferred contact method, I don't know. Gender is okay. I believe we have gender also this side. Okay, image name. Okay, so we have the password. So where is the password? Okay, I'm just going to get the password out of that side and bring it here, and then this preferred contact method. Okay, so I will bring those three in one row. Then is where we have this. Cut this. I think just going to add it with this, and then last one was the password. So here just going to have password, and this give it type also of password. Okay, I'm just going to cut this. Okay, I'm just going to add it here so that there are three here. Okay. Now we just like have to add now more things. Things like what? Okay, password. These other ones are just going to leave the default ones. Professional information. So we have employee ID, which will be generated automatically. We'll do the same technique we did. Date of joining and designation. Designation, because someone at the time of registration, they might not be the head of department or head of teacher, but we can just like leave it, just like add these two, date of joining and designation. Here we have date of birth, and we just duplicate this. Just do this, and then here let's start with date of joining or joining date. I'm just going to say joining date. I think that's the name. Okay, here we have it as date of joining. Okay, then the next one is designation. So let me first remove this and just simply get a text input here, and just let's go here and we add designation. And even here designation. Okay, and then you could just like add a placeholder which is e.g. Teacher or head of, maybe here head of department. Okay, and you could just say you could just like add a tip or something for that. And what else can we add for this person? Then that is why we have the department name. That is why I has select the department. So we'll have the department. So there we'll have the form select. So just going to take this form select here. Just going to add it here like this. Department. So I'm just going to say here department. So I will just go here and I also put the departments. So just going to say here science. Okay, science. Here is supposed to be the ID, maybe on the value 1, 2, 3, and then chemistry department. One. Okay, we just like have one of those two, and then these ones they will be created, so you don't have to worry about those ones. So here we're just going to have departments, and let's go here where we have the selected. We'll have departments, selected department. Here's going to have set selected department, and you're just going to have departments at 0, departments at 0, just like that. And now let's go back to selected, and then you set selected department. Okay, so we have the departments here. For this one we just need to add the two things. You can add the href. Okay, this one's going to kind of be like dashboard academics, so this is going to be in academics. And then this is going to be departments, new, just create a new department. Okay, so next thing is, of course, supposed to put also, if you put this, you put a tooltip, I believe. Which says create new department. I don't know if that is like how I'm supposed to do it. Like you can just like create new department. Okay. Let's see other things we have here. There is specialization where we have the main subject. Okay. We could just like link it to the, we have qualification, highest education. Okay. This specialization, the main subject, we could select from subjects actually. So this one could have main subject. I'm just going to say this main subject. Okay, and then the main subject ID, just like this. And this one we could just create a relationship with the subject. Like a person cannot have two main subjects, it has to be only one main subject. Okay, but since we have the subject ID, that is already a okay. Just going to leave it like that. Then this qualification, highest education qualification. So yes, I leave it also like this. So for this one, we're just going to have also an array for the qualification. So I will add also duplicate one more. Down here. So there is no any here which is a text input. All these ones are going to be for the select. Okay, I'm just going to first comment out this, even this one. So this one is going to be main subject. So here just going to say subject, main subject, and then here we'll have the subjects. Have like the subjects, and then here you can just have science, chemistry, which is also okay. Then we have also to do this here. Selected subject, set selected subject like this, and then you can have subjects. So just going to have the one for the subjects. We also have the one for the main subject. So this is going to be main subject, and then here is going to be set main subject. Still like with this. So let's go back to where we have this main subject. So this is going to be subjects. This one is going to be also main subject, and then this is going to be set main subject. This is going to be subjects new. Can you say add new subject? That would be also select subjects. Now there is selecting subject, and then there is selecting subjects. I'm just going to first put the one I think of. So you can see here where we have this subjects. So it's going to be a string or a marked select. So here we just have subjects. Okay, so we'll have subjects. Here's going to be the selected subject, and set selected subject. Now this subject's new. Now this is going to change a little bit. We'll make this one a marked select. I don't know how we are going to modify this, but this has to be a marked select. Just going to add here multi select. And then we will have one more for the highest level of education. So here's going to be qualification, and in the qualification we have, I'm just going to go to subjects here. I will create qualifications. Okay, so you can just have here, maybe, I don't know, the qualification, there will be the highest level of education, bachelor's, the spelling of this bachelor's. So we just also put this. Then we have diploma, and this is going to be diploma. That's just like put certificate. These ones we can just always add on this array. So basically we should also just come here and I'm just going to say qualification, set qualification. So you say qualification and set qualification. Okay, so let's just go down here. Qualifications. And then this is going to be qualification, set qualification. So we don't need these two, just remove them. Okay, seems like we are moving on where we have where you can select the main subject, and then here you can select my marked select. Okay, so what else do we need to add in the teacher? Okay, we have where you can add the documents. Okay, so this one is just going to come later while you link this. So this is going to be a teacher can have multiple documents, so meaning that this is going to be, if you want to add a document, then you just go ahead and add documents, and then they will just like be on the address. So you're going to have address. Why do I believe like we have nationality twice? Okay, we have address and nationality. So I think already have nationality somewhere. Address is there. Then we have this emergency contact. I'm just going to put here experience. All these other ones, they will be on the edit page where you can add more things to this. I'm just going to only add experience only. So instead of this occupation, is going to be experience. So here I'm just going to name this as experience. Make sure I just have the right spelling, experience. Okay, so experience. I'm just going to give a, you can just also give a placeholder, or you can just say this is going to be a type of number, because this should be like the number of years. Okay, I just going to say here a placeholder or saying eg 5. Okay, I could just like in first name this as years of experience. Okay, so we have the address. We're just going to leave it like this, and then the profile, we just have to just do teacher profile. So down here it's supposed to be teacher teacher profile image. So just go here and create one for teacher profile image. I will copy this, go to core.ts, and then down here I will duplicate and then add this teacher profile image. Okay, yep, yeah. So this is going to be the form for creating a teacher. There are things that are required to be created before this, like for instance creating a department, creating subjects, and then I think we still have a class. We still need to select the class where we have subjects here, main subject. We still need somewhere we can add the class. Maybe we're just going to add it here. I'm just going to get these subjects. I will just add them here, because there is where we have a class. You can see here classes and the class IDs. So I will just go to go back to the form here. So where we have this merge select, even down here is going to be a merge select. So we could just add it here, classes, is going to be teaching senior 1, senior 2, senior 3, like that. So you have options, which are going to be classes. Okay, just go ahead and duplicate this. I'm just going to say classes, and here you have S1, and then the ID, S2, and then with ID. Of course, you're just going to have the selected class. Selected class, and then you can say set selected class. Just go down here and update this classes. So you're just going to be classes, and then I'm just going to say selected class, and then it is going to be set selected class. And of course you can add new class, so it's going to be add new class, classes, then new. This of course just add like this. We already have this in academics, I believe. Academics classes here, academics classes. So that is okay. So we are adding this here. Okay, so the form for the teacher is done. I'm not sure if we even have any time to create to be able to create a teacher. We might not be having that chance. Okay. The only thing that we are remaining with that we could do maybe would be creating more forms. Could create a form for subject. So we still have subject and department. Those two are the ones that we are remaining with. If you check all the information here, preferred parent. Okay, this is supposed to be the password. So we just need only two things: the department plus the subject, because the classes, for them, they are already done. The only thing is these classes. So you could just go here and we add in this academics, just going to add departments plus the subjects. Okay, so I'm just going to go here. Just go in app sidebar, and then I'm just going to go under academics. So we have the classes, so we're just going to add subjects, and then of course it's going to be academic subjects. Okay, and then below them we're just going to add one more, which is going to be departments. And then it's going to be academics departments. Okay. That is cool. So we have now subjects, and now we have departments. Okay, so at this point I'm just going to leave it at this. Okay, then tomorrow we're just going to add on this. So this week, since we just are getting into the Christmas season, this whole entire week I'm just going to be creating one episode for about 5 days, so that we push at least we cross to coming close to finishing. So starting today, I've been creating and giving it a space. So I'm just giving a speed alert that this week I'm just going to create the episodes every day, like one episode per day. So just be aware of that. Okay, just be aware. And just going to end up by building this, because we changed a lot of things into this. I'm just going to simply push those changes, since we don't have any teacher we have created yet. So those forms, I will create them in the next video. For the subject and the department, I will create them in the next episode, which will be tomorrow, episode 8. Thank you for watching today's episode. I will see you in the next one.